Final update. My girlfriend demanded access to my savings, calling me controlling when I refused. After I broke up with her, she showed up at my office, spread lies about me, and even got her mom to call, saying a real man shares his wealth. That's when I realized how far this would go. Part 2. Her to meet in my apartment so we could talk. She arrived immediately, launching into her usual spiel. Have you come to your senses yet? I forced a tight smile and said, we need to break up. Her face went slack, disbelief turning into anger. You're dumping me over money? She sneered. I corrected her. No, I'm ending this because you're obsessed with what's mine and you refuse to respect my boundaries. She erupted, calling me every name under the sun. Cheap, controlling, a man-child who can't handle a real relationship. Then she tried the tears, claiming she'd never find anyone else who'd take care of her. But I remained resolute. The emotional roller coaster was done. As she grabbed her purse, she threatened to tell everyone I was financially abusive. She even said she'd post on social media about how I kept her poor. I stood my ground, ignoring her threats. I'd built a solid reputation as a fair, decent guy. If she wanted to spin tales, let her. The truth was on my side. In the days following our breakup, she texted nonstop, calls, messages, voicemails, most either tearfully begging for another chance or lashing out, accusing me of ruining her life. I blocked her on all platforms. That's when she started showing up in my office building, waiting by the entrance. One morning, she confronted me as I walked in, wailing that I was being unfair. I told security to escort her off the premises. A mutual friend later informed me she was telling people I was a paranoid control freak who locked down his finances to dominate her. While it stung to hear my reputation dragged through the mud, I also felt relief that I'd cut ties. If this was her default reaction to not getting her way, I had dodged a major bullet. One evening, I got a call from an unknown number. It was her mother of all people, scolding me for breaking my girlfriend's heart and how a real man shares his wealth. I ended the call quickly, astounded by how deeply the entitlement seemed to run in her family. Not long after, another mutual acquaintance said she was trying to get legal advice, claiming I owed her money for emotional distress. It sounded like a desperate bluff. There was no contract or common law marriage. She had no grounds to sue me. Still, it showed how far she'd go to get a payday. Despite the chaos, my life gradually normalized. Work was busy, and I found comfort in close friends who supported my decision. They saw the red flags I'd been too blind to spot earlier and reminded me that finances often reveal a person's true character. I couldn't help but agree. My ex's sense of entitlement was staggering, and the meltdown she had when faced with healthy boundaries confirmed she wasn't the one for me. Yet part of me feared she'd try one final dramatic move, something more than just social media ranting or phone calls, and sure enough, she did. It happened on a Monday morning just as I was heading out the door to work. There she stood on my doorstep wearing a forced smile and holding a small box, a peace offering, she said. The tension in her voice suggested otherwise. She extended the box, claiming she'd gotten me a gift to show she was serious about making amends. I hesitated, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Inside was a cheap trinket definitely not worth any symbolic significance. I realized it was just a prop for another manipulative stunt. Before I could speak, she pounced. If I can prove I've changed, will you reconsider? Let me in. Let's talk. I felt a surge of frustration. We've talked enough. I'm not interested in a relationship where my finances are a battlefield. She tried to wedge her way past me into my apartment, voice quivering. I promise I'll never demand your money again. I just need some stability right now. That did it. My suspicion soared. The entire argument was about her wanting my finances. Now she was framing it as a stability issue. Drawing a steady breath, I told her firmly, you need to leave. She protested, tears forming again as she called me heartless. I stepped back, letting her know I'd call the police if she refused. That broke the last semblance of composure. She hurled insults at me and said I'd regret losing